Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Hollywood Makers. I'm Mona, and today we're diving into the world of music with artist Joey Cash. We'll be discussing his journey, creative process, and challenges, and advice for aspiring artists looking to make their mark in the industry. So, thank you so much for being here today, Joey.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And let's just jump right in. Okay, first question. For those who may not be familiar with your story, who is Joey Cash and how did your journey into music begin?
Well, I have been, active in music for a very long time. I grew up playing violin, and then I picked up a guitar when I was like 13, learned a lot about songwriting, focused primarily on songwriting, and then, transitioned to electronic music and dance music, starting like, the whole, poser kind of album, project and art piece, and then and after this, I plan on moving more into that like singer-songwriter stuff, but through the lens of techno.
That's amazing. Wow. That's really awesome that you were able to like connect like your music that you were doing when you were younger to like what you're doing now. Like that kind of like it's cool that like it started out from your childhood and then like it's now in your current day life. Something that
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very lucky. Yeah.
yeah. Was there a specific moment when you realized music could become more of a serious career rather than just a passion?
Yeah, when my first electronic song kind of took off, however much it did, like it definitely like made me realize that there could be something there. And then as time went on, it kind of just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I think it was like only like it's fairly recent that I feel like I've been able to like consider this as a career long term.
Okay, yeah. And what song was that took off, if you don't mind telling the audience?
It was Are You Kissing Anyone? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. That was a great song. I listened to it.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's my least favorite.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
It's boring in my
It's
opinion.
boring.
At this point it's quite boring, you know.
Okay.
Um
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I personally think it was great. So,
Thank you.
I think yeah, it was really good. Your sound is very unique and connected to a younger generation of listeners. How would you describe your music to someone hearing it for the first time?
I think it's like very nostalgic in a way. Like it's like a darker, more self-aware take on dance music, I think, at least as of now. It's a lot of like, Daft Punk, Skrillex, kind of 2010s EDM in
Hmm.
inspo, like in like a lot of sound design, but then also kind of pulling from really like noise rock and like bands like Sonic Youth for like noisiness, and Crystal Castles, obviously, like there's all those different pieces in there to kind of make like, it's definitely like indie sleaze, I guess, but it's sort of its own thing in a way.
And was this like you deciding to go down that path, like in specific of like that like style of music? Was it because of like other like EDM types that you like looked up to?
A little bit. I mean, I think when I first started this whole EDM project, I was like a super fan of Two Hollis.
Mm,
I definitely, like I felt definitely like bolstered by that to do this, to do what I was doing. And there is like a ton of like a lot of music coming out now that is definitely, in the same vein, in the same world, and
yeah.
kind of like a part of like the same sort of like art movement, at least in like aesthetics at some level.
For sure. I feel like especially recently, like in like our like modern day, like I feel like I think like back then, I was actually saying this on a recent interview that I was on. Back then I feel like EDM and house music was kind of more underground versus like now it's definitely something that's more mainstream. And I think like artists like you have definitely like made it become more popular because like I didn't really know about house music like if you told me like 5 years ago, but like now like I feel like it's become a lot more popular.
It's also just so different. Like I think what like at least in my experience, what people enjoy in dance music is, now like the lack of polish on a lot of stuff. Like that's why like, Snow Strippers have done so well.
Yeah.
They really like they're real EDM. You can't deny that they're real EDM, but they are like so like raw, and the juxtaposition of like, electronic music, which is like, you know, inevitably like significantly more produced than a lot of other music, mixed with that like rawness and that edge. It's just it makes for something I think just really relevant right now more than
Yeah.
anything, you know.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. What does your creative process look like when writing and producing a song?
It varies. Like, really what I'm looking for is like a good melody. I'm looking for like a really good melody, and then from there I'll build everything else on it because I think melody is the most important
Hmm.
part of music.
For
Um,
sure.
it's the thing that sticks, you know. So,
Yeah.
and then from
Absolutely.
there it's like it depends. Like, for more recent stuff, I'll actually write on guitar and then figure out a way to like make the same notes work on a synth, and then build the synth around that, But yeah.
That's really cool, honestly, because like I feel like I mean like you're the first person I heard of who like starts like on the guitar kind of and then like moves it over like to like the electronic style. Like that's really cool.
Thank you. The beauty of doing something electronic is you could build something from scratch and get the perfect tone, right? And so if you understand like what's good about a guitar riff and what's musically good going on there, you are able to amplify that and make that more so if you can build the instrument from scratch as well,
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Social media has also become a major part of the music industry. How has it helped or challenged you as an artist?
It's helped me a lot. I mean, I've had some videos go like kind of get some traction, and so that it definitely helps in that way. I feel like the truth is that like at this point in social media, that social media has just become such a useful tool in connecting with people that it really has destroyed a monopoly in a lot of I'm noticing that it took out like a monopoly in the music industry, that just really really changes everything about music. I think that because of social media, we're probably going to see some really different art. Or where social media is. Social media is really changing music, and I mean, it's probably been this way for a while, but it's getting more and more, powerful and useful to young creators, I think, you know.
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of like musical artists have emerged from TikTok, especially like during like quarantine, like there were a lot of like small artists that like broke out because of TikTok. And I feel like it wasn't as popular before I think the pandemic, but ever since the pandemic, a lot of artists have been able to like make their mark and establish themselves through social media. So, that's really
Definitely.
great that also you were able to leverage it in some sort of way.
Definitely. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the biggest obstacle you faced in your career so far, and how did you overcome it?
Biggest obstacle has been honestly like perfectionism to the
Mm-hmm.
you I get like, I overproduce a lot. I overwork things. I kind of tried to correct that with my new record, where with a lot of it feels unfinished, but it's more like the idea was like there a while back, and if I touched it now, it would just like lose whatever spark was there, So but so yeah, like overproduction is a big problem with me. I tend to like think too big on songs, and it's not the point of it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, that's really great that you recognize that and you're like, okay, maybe I'm like overthinking a little bit too much and
Yeah,
like do you ever
totally.
like think like do you ever like want to go back on songs and just kind of like fix it a little bit or like has that ever happened?
Definitely. I can probably point out like an issue in every song, and but it's like, once you put it out, I've started to look at it a little differently. It's like once that's out, it's out. That's what it was. Like that's what it's supposed to be. And all the things that I'm noticing, like maybe some nerds are gonna notice it, but it's like who gives a shit, you know?
Exactly. And the thing is, you're so popular and you have a lot of like loyal fans to the point where it's like they're not listening. I remember like I was going through the comments of like one of your music videos and just as like research and everyone was like obsessed and everyone was like hyping you up and that's the point of having loyal fans, but I'm saying like there was not a single hate comment. Like people are so like moved and inspired from your music. So,
Yeah, no, I love that. That's one of the most motivating things ever. I mean, it's like yeah, no, it's special. I think when I do get like when I get like comments that are maybe not even like hate comments, it's just like you either just don't if you don't get it, you don't get it,
Exactly.
If you don't see the vision, it's fine. I like a lot. One comment I get is like, sounds like ear rape. Like it just sounds like noise, and
Goodness.
it's like, yeah, it's kind of true. But if that's not for you, it's not for you. But it definitely is for me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And you have so many other like people who are like you have like so many other people who are like obsessed with your music and like want to listen to it and are constantly asking for more. Like I saw like a reoccurring comment was that when is he going to drop more music? And like, if all of these people are sitting here and saying something positive, then one negative comment, it doesn't mean anything. All right. Many aspiring artists watch interviews like this hoping to follow a similar path. What advice would you give someone trying to break into the music industry today?
Don't sign any contracts. Yeah, don't do that.
Any further explanation or
You will always lose money. You always the no record contract is in the favor of an artist because no record label takes any risk,
yeah.
you
I
know.
feel like a lot of record labels are like they're like in favor of themselves. It's not really like for the artist, it's for themselves.
Whatever's on the contract just is essentially saying they have control over your money. They can over whatever, like and they will hold that over your head. Whatever money is on the contract as like a guarantee, that
Hmm.
will also you have to pay for that. They're not giving you that money. That's not the cost of working together. You have to earn them back that every time. So there's never any use. I mean, especially when you're like early in your career, this will do nothing. It will just distract you. It will be noise, and you actually won't be able to fund your music and your project as well because you won't have any money to fund it with because someone else will have your money.
That's
So
great advice.
yeah.
That's really good advice, honestly, because I mean, I feel like when you're in that industry and you're super vulnerable and you don't really know where to go and you're just starting out, I mean, like I feel like a lot of the times like these big record labels like can reach out and like I feel like a lot of people will have like the thought to sign with them because they feel like okay, well then I'll be secure and someone will have my back, but in reality they're doing themselves a disservice. So,
Yeah, you're just telling yourself that this is the amount of money that I'm going to generate on my own, and I need these people to get me any further. And that's their game. That's not the case. It's never is the case.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um Is there a particular song that you've released that holds special meaning to you or represents a turning point in your career?
Yeah, my most recent single, Everything, I think is definitely the best piece of art I've ever made. I love it. I had my girlfriend do vocals for it. She killed it. And it's just like I don't know. It's exactly what I want to hear. I'm not gonna like to me it feels like that like a great song in my life that I will always hold dear because obviously
Hmm.
because I made it. But I love that song so much. I think it like completely makes everything else I put out look like trivial, non-critical art. And this definitely feels everything really felt like a very personal song for sure. So that's my favorite.
Would you say your girlfriend is a big role model in your music?
Yes, actually. Whether it's like I actually set out this entire like dance project to kind of capture I didn't want to capture my own personal perception of the world as much as I kind of wanted to capture almost like my girlfriend's, but it's not really my girlfriend's. Like it's not exactly like how she would see it. It's like my interpretation of like how the world would function for someone like her. And so she's like quintessential to it all. I mean, even the songs that stray away from that, they
Hmm.
definitely like they exist in a world where she exists. It's like yeah, she's a huge part of it all. And I mean, she's helped with marketing, she's helped with everything. She's been there. Any idea that I have, I pass to her. I'm like, does this sound cool? Is this fire? If she answers no, then it gets cut, because if she doesn't like it, then who will?
That's amazing. I feel like that's such an amazing thing to have somebody that you love so much have be such a big part in your music and be such an inspiration. And I think that's really great that you guys kind of like work as
Definitely.
a team almost.
I mean, yeah, really. I mean, I don't have many people in my life that will be like, get off your ass, do this. Like you're wasting your time. You gotta like fucking get to it. But I'm grateful for that because if I didn't have that, I'd be a bum. I'd waste all my time.
She's amazing.
Yes.
Um, What is something people would be surprised to learn about you behind the scenes that they don't see online?
I like I like the outdoors. I love the outdoors. That's like I don't like as much as I use social media to for my career. I really strongly hate all of that type of shit, and I like the outdoors and being disconnected and like hunting and shit like that.
Oh, okay,
That's my
nice. So you hunt as a hobby?
little bit, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing. If you could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Kevin Shields from My Bloody Valentine for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's a
sure.
good answer. Is there a
Yeah,
reason?
he because I don't think that there is a better recording artist for what I'm looking for than him. I know he like because he's guitars obviously, but there's undeniably that guy knows tone more than like anybody does, and
Hmm.
he would know how to get what I want. And also, when you look into like the recording process for "Loveless" by My Bloody Valentine,
Hmm.
that whole record, it's like they're recording guitars out of washing machines and shit, like just completely on a different wavelength of how to capture sound and
Hmm.
how to make like a wall of noise, and while also being like musically there, like the melody and the music is all really really strong in all the My Bloody Valentine stuff. So definitely Kevin Shields.
That's a great answer. What projects, music, or goals are you currently working toward that excite you the most?
Well, I'm gonna start, playing more shows and touring. I'm really looking forward to that. Just because that's the way that this music's, this like it's fun to make this music in my room and like be hyped on like something that's cool. But it's definitely intended to be played loud and with other people and to be listened to in that setting. So enjoying it in the setting that it's supposed to be in
Hmm.
is honestly like I bet it feels like listening to a song for the first time, so I'm excited about that. And then there's future next project after this I'm super stoked on. I'm
Oh,
really really
awesome.
stoked on. Yeah.
And I hear you're going on tour next week. Where are you hitting?
Start in Phoenix, then I go to like Fullerton, San Francisco, and then I fly to fucking Chicago
Dang, okay.
and in a day, and then I go back to San Francisco, Seattle, then down to Portland, and then up to Vancouver and back.
Well, okay, awesome. So
Yeah,
you're kind of like hitting like a little bit like all over like the West Coast area, like along the
yeah.
Pacific Ocean.
Chicago's like a little
Okay.
detour along the way, and then
Yeah.
go back to the same thing.
Okay, yeah. And that sounds amazing. You're gonna have a great time, and a lot of people are gonna come and hear your music. That's great.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And then one question we ask all of our guests at the Hollywood Makers, with everything that comes with being an artist today, what are some ways you stay grounded and take care of yourself outside of music?
Something I need to get much better at. The hopefully the touring helps, but the past year or so or almost two, I've been working on this album, and so it's really just been nonstop production for a
Okay.
long time and like learning a lot because I when I made Are You Kissing Anyone, that I knew literally nothing about. That was my first electronic dance song I'd ever worked on, so I did not know what the fuck I was doing or how to be consistent like for 12 songs. I didn't want to drop a record that was like, it has moments, but the rest of it's pretty weak. I wanted to have something that had like consistently good ideas at the very least, And yeah, to get that, I had to change a lot. I was a very sloppy artist. I thought I was better than I was, and by the end of the album, I feel like I'm a shittier artist than I ever am. But that's just. I think that's probably just a part of being self-aware with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I think it's really great that you're self-aware and you recognize this about yourself because I feel like a lot of it's like very easy to get wrapped up in the industry and like get caught up in like I guess like arrogance and like, think that you are a lot better than what you are. I mean, you're a great artist, but like, it's very easy to be not humble, is what I'm essentially saying.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, because it feels really good to have a song do well. It feels so
Yeah.
good, and it just gets to your head. But I mean, I think that the best music I've made has been when I'm like, fuck, I suck at making music. I
Hmm.
really suck because I don't get distracted by all the things that fuel your ego as much. you
Yeah,
know?
you're more aware in a sense.
Yeah. Well, it's all like you like if you're when I'm like super up about like, a song doing well or something, it's like I just like you start thinking like, "Oh, this song did good because it had this breakdown at the end. So every song I make needs an EDM breakdown." When it's like, you don't really need that. You just need a good melody. And yeah, and good and sounds good, relevant tones, I guess. Those two things, that's what makes good music.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And finally, where can everyone find and follow your work? We'll be sure to tag your social media accounts as well.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, Spotify, Apple Music, just Joey Cash.
Okay. That's your Instagram handle as well and TikTok.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
pretty
awesome.
much. Cool.
Well, Joey, thank you so much for joining me today and giving us an honest look into what it's really like to be a musician in this day and age. And thank you to everyone listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the Hollywood Makers for more conversations with creatives and industry professionals. And I'm Mona, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.